Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and today I'm joined by Deven Rall. How are you, Deven?
I'm doing good. Happy Friday. Just happy to be back, man.
I'm very happy
happy
you're
you're back.
I'm happy to be back. I think this might be the best show of the week.
Oh,
right
for sure,
now.
for sure.
I think we're heading into it. I don't think it's going out on a limb to say that. We got some very good stories for you today, Deven. I know you're big into the Kardashians.
Huge.
We're going to talk about there's a big rift and rivalry in the Kardashians that Caitlyn Jenner kind of accidentally exposed. It's really interesting. And now they're feuding the two different sides of the Kardashians. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about... I forgot what order. Oh, Rachel Bilson I'll do next. Also, Rachel Bilson is feuding with Whoopi Goldberg.
What a random feud.
I know.
But I love it. About what it's about is what's amazing.
About how many sexual partners a man in their 40s should have had in his life.
Rachel has a very interesting take.
But to begin with, I think this is the most interesting new development in the Travis and Taylor new relationship. Donna Kelce, Travis's mum, was asked about what it was like hanging out with Taylor while watching the Chiefs play, and I think she had a very surprising response. Let's hear what she had to say.
Yeah, what was she like? What was it? I mean, so you got to know her a little bit. Got to see with a couple games. How was it?
It was okay. Yeah. Well, we both met her, and we've always sort of just been delighted by her way. Yeah.
Did Travis say, Mom?
So that was on the Today Show, and Hoda's talking to her, and Savannah's talking to her, and basically, I think she pokes a hole in the fantasy relationship balloon that is Travis and Taylor.
So you think this is her saying that they're not a real couple?
This is her saying definitely she didn't enjoy meeting or hanging out with Taylor Swift. She didn't enjoy that experience whatsoever. I think that I'm just surprised she didn't toe the company line.
I get where you're coming from for sure. I mean, Donna Kelce, you have to remember, so she's just a normal mom from Ohio.
Yes.
She reminds me of like one of your friends' moms.
Yes.
Like just a normal, down-to-earth lady. And now she's thrust in this spotlight. Obviously, she's been involved with press before. Both of her sons are super famous football players.
They were in the Super Bowl last year together.
And she was a big part of that because
Yes.
everyone was talking, oh, who are you going to root for? So it's not like it's her first rodeo. But I think she's just uncomfortable with all the attention. And she's a little bit awkward. And I think she's just coming off like, it could, to your point, it could be like putting a huge hole in the fact that they're actually together. Or they are really together and she's sworn to secrecy.
Oh, but she could at least be a bit more flattering. I mean, if I introduce my new boo to my mum.
Boo. I don't like you calling someone
I don't
boo.
like it either. I think that's the first time I've ever used
why
that phrase.
the heck did you just say boo?
My new Sheila.
Okay.
Is that better?
I've never heard that, but we'll go with that.
My new girlfriend to my mum. And then I overhear her talking about it with someone else, and someone else asks her, so what was it like meeting Charlie's new girlfriend? And my mum goes, it was okay. And then she was like, oh, no, but I've met Charlie's new girlfriend. Charlie's new girlfriend's delightful. And my mum goes, yeah.
You have a pretty good point.
I'd be like, what?
You have a good point. That is really weird, but also, I mean, you know how private Taylor Swift is. Dude, if Donna goes on and is just, I guess you could have a more glowing reaction.
Come
Doesn't have
on.
to say too much.
Just say she was sweet.
But if she says too much, then Travis is like, Mom, what are you doing?
I know, but like she said that she's okay part, and then Hoda tries to save her because I think
her a life vest.
she did. Hoda knew that she was getting herself into some shit, and goes, "Oh no, we've met her. She's delightful." And the most Donna could come back with was, "Yeah."
I mean, you might be onto something. Maybe she doesn't like her, and she's just being honest. I still stand by, though. I just think that, like, dude, I don't know what to think because I keep going back and forth. Originally, I was like, oh, I think maybe they are together. Then you see one thing and I'm like, nah, this is definitely fake. I need to see some public affection.
I think public affection would be good.
That's all I need to see. And yeah, Donna didn't do herself any favors with the Today Show interview.
I actually need to see more than public affection to be sold.
Okay.
I just
Okay, dude.
This
is a slippery slope.
No, I'm not saying I
man.
need to see private affection.
Okay.
I'm just saying I want to see like natural public affection. I'm not going to believe just a handhold. Like I'm just going to, that's easy to do. You can fake, or like, I think that there's just so much money and so much attention and fame and good stuff that comes with this whole charade.
Yeah.
That it's hard to buy it unless I really see some solid evidence.
So you need to see them like at dinner together, just looking at their phones, like how normal couples do.
Hey, that wouldn't be bad.
You need something like real relationship wise.
Yes.
Or them in traffic and like she's arguing like, hey, you went the wrong way.
An argument would be good.
Yeah.
An argument shows emotion.
I actually like that take.
Okay.
And I don't usually like your takes.
And you like that one?
Yes, I did.
Well, stay tuned for the rest of the episode, Deven, because they're going to keep on coming.
I can't wait.
Caitlyn Jenner hates the Kardashians. Well, maybe not that extreme, but she doesn't talk to them. And now they're really at odds with her because she went on a press tour for this new documentary, House of Kardashians. A documentary.
Sounds like Game of Thrones.
It does, actually. Well,
it's actually a good title. I have no idea what it's about. Maybe you do, but it makes me actually want to watch it.
I think it's basically a story about how the house was built.
Okay.
Okay. From the ground up. They talk about Kim. They talk about, Caitlyn says that Kim is very calculated. That was the big headline coming out of it last week.
We know that, right?
I know, but that caused some tension that she said that Kim was calculated. And mind you, the Kardashians didn't want Caitlyn to be involved in this documentary at all. They said, please don't do the documentary.
And none of them are involved,
None
correct?
of them are involved. They didn't want her to be involved.
Okay.
But Caitlyn said, look, you don't want me to be on your show. She's not allowed on the Hulu show they're on.
Why is that? Don't you think that's kind of bizarre?
They don't want her on the Hulu show.
Okay.
And so Caitlyn was like, all right, I'm not going to go with this gag order. You don't want me on your show. You don't want me on that show. I'm going to go on that show. I'm going to go on a press tour. And look how it's come back in her face because on that press tour, she basically revealed that she doesn't speak to Kris at all. She doesn't really speak to the Kardashian girls at all. She says she speaks to the Jenners sometimes. The Jenner boys mostly like Bert.
Oh, and Brody.
Okay. Brandon.
Interesting.
There's another one called Casey. I didn't even know. There's another.
Who the heck is Casey?
I have no idea. I think this is
well, of course he's talking.
I know. I know.
He's happy to pick up the phone.
It felt like a birth announcement to me. I didn't even know this one existed.
No, that's crazy.
But it's just interesting that they're angry at her now again doubly because we didn't want you to go on the documentary and now you're bringing shame upon this great family. And so now the rift between, I guess, just Caitlyn and the rest of the family has never been greater.
But we're told, what I think is kind of interesting is that we're being told from her side, Caitlyn's side, that she's remorseful about doing it now. And because it's caused this big divide, and now literally no one from the family will speak to her.
Right.
But it's like, what are you being remorseful about? They didn't let you on their show. This other person offered for you to be on this House of Kardashians and paid for her to be on it. So it wasn't like she was just doing it for fun.
Mm.
You guys can't be mad that I'm doing other opportunities when you won't even let me be on your show.
That's totally right.
It's like it's bizarre. Although I will say, in defense of the Kardashians, which I don't necessarily like to do too much, if someone else is doing an entire documentary about my family and we're all not involved, we're all against it, you're going to be a little upset when one of the family steps out of line and gets involved.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Kris is the queen of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, everything goes through Kris.
Yeah.
And so Caitlyn's obviously got a bit of beef with her ex, Kris.
A lot of beef.
Yeah. And so the fact that, she's not involved in the family project must really annoy her. But Caitlyn isn't banned from doing her own reality show.
Caitlyn can do whatever she wants.
She could, but it's just no one would watch it.
Just based off her? I disagree.
You think people would watch a Caitlyn Jenner reality show?
I think people are interested in Caitlyn Jenner. You don't think that if they brought Caitlyn Jenner back on the Kardashians,
that's a different question.
That it would be a huge episode?
It would, but that's a different question.
So you're saying just a standalone?
Yes, because they wouldn't want to be on Caitlyn's show either.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't watch either show.
Right.
To be honest.
Right.
I don't watch the Kardashians, and I wouldn't watch that. But I don't know. I do think there is interest. Like, we did this story, and again, maybe to your point, it's because the Kardashians are involved and it's drama. But this was one of like the biggest stories on the website yesterday, was just Caitlyn Jenner being remorseful about doing this interview. And again, the Kardashian name is in the headline, so it's not Caitlyn Jenner. But I this is one of those situations, though, where I really do see both sides. Like, I see why they would be mad, and I also see why Caitlyn would do it, because it's like, screw you guys.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree. I mean, I think it'd be great for Caitlyn to have like another act and do something. Either
you
it's a
sound like you
show-
have an idea of what it would be.
I don't really, because there's not many things out there that I think people would watch with her in it. The only thing would be her
talking about the Kardashians.
talking shit on the Kardashians, hopefully.
Yeah. And
that's why this story did so well.
But that's the crazy thing, though, is that they're mad that she just took part in this documentary. But apparently, Caitlyn only did it because none of the Kardashians were going to be involved. And Caitlyn's saying, oh, I did this to shed like a positive light. Like, I was involved to defend you guys because no one was going to be involved to defend the family. So
we don't need defending, they would say. We don't, and especially by you.
Yeah, I guess that. But I mean, family drama, man.
That's why people love it. Family drama. Family drama. Okay. On to our final story, and I think the best story. I was actually fighting for this.
When I was sent these stories, I was like, "This is going to be your favorite story."
This is my favorite story because Rachel Bilson and Whoopi Goldberg are like in some big fight now because of something that Rachel said on her podcast. Let's play what Rachel said on the podcast.
This is gonna sound so like judgmental, but if a dude's like in his 40s and he's like, I've slept with like 4 women. But it all depends. Like, maybe
it depends on their history.
Maybe he's been in like decade relationships. Totally respectable.
Yeah. But if he's single in his 40s and it's only 4,
and he's never been in the long term,
Rachel thinks that's an issue.
No, I don't know. It's not fair for me to say either way.
Okay, so if a guy's in his 40s and single and has only slept with 4 women, it's weird, basically, she's saying. It'd be a bit of a turn-off. And so Whoopi saw this and disagreed on her show, basically said, we don't like when men like bang a lot of girls. We never like that. But now we don't like the opposite when they bang no girls. And so then Rachel replied even to that and said, sorry, Whoopi, like you were an idol of mine growing up. I didn't think I'd ever have beef with you.
Well, I hate that.
And basically kind of almost took it back and said, I don't feel like I even mean it now.
So,
what is your whole take on this?
So first, my take on this is I kind of agree with Rachel here.
Same.
So as a guy, I mean, it's kind of like a cliche thing. Like, you meet a nice young lady and you don't want to think about her previous endeavors.
Yeah.
You don't. But at the same time, it's like, I also hope she had some endeavors when we get in there.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't want to think about it, but yeah, I probably would hope that she's had sex more than 4 times or with more than 4 partners and gotten that experience by the time she's 40.
Yeah.
Would you not agree?
And also, 40, exactly. And in your 40s that's about 20, at least 20, probably 25, kind of like years of potential intimacy.
Promiscuous behavior.
And so 24 divided by 4 is 6, I think.
Yeah, I'm not good at math.
So,
you lost me with all your math.
So one guy every 6 years, or one girl every 6 years. That doesn't seem like very many. Like, what's going on? What's going on that you can only have sex with one person?
Exactly. And I'm not trying to like shade anyone for whatever they do, but I feel like the only way that by the time you reach the age of 40 and you don't have had at least 4 partners is if you like married your high school sweetheart.
Yes.
In that circumstance, and maybe
that kind of creeped me out too as well. Because am I ever going to live up to that?
That is a lot to live up to. So, but I'm also on to Rachel Bilson a little bit here.
What do you mean?
Dude, so she's always saying these wild things on this podcast. You never hear from Rachel Bilson until a headline comes about something she said on her podcast. Couple of months ago, I think she said she had never orgasmed until she was 38 years old.
I know. Meanwhile, in that time, she had been with Adam Brody from the OC.
That says a lot about all these guys.
She was with Hayden Christensen, the guy from Star Wars.
How did she not with that guy? He was a hunk.
It was until Bill Hader, apparently.
Oh my God, Bill. It's always the funny guy.
I know. And then she said on the podcast that she misses his big
I mean, so that's the thing. So, and then
Are we allowed to say that on the podcast? Well, she said on her podcast.
No, and then I think she said, like, back in March, I saw she's like said on our podcast, made a headline that she likes being manhandled in bed.
Yes. She got fired from a job for saying that.
I swear it's like every few months they're like, hey, Rachel, podcast numbers are really down. We need you to say something wild.
Okay, Deven.
Sexual
our
and
podcast,
wild.
Our podcast numbers are really down, Deven.
Dude, I'm not. I have a job and a wife. Dude, there's very little I'm saying on this thing.
Damn. All right. But I mean, I think this is a good ad for her podcast. I kind of want to listen now.
For sure. So, I mean, no shade to her. She's clearly, I mean, it's working.
It is.
We talk about it, and it's like, do I know if she really feels this way? I kind of think she does.
Well, I agree with her, which is why I think it was weird that this comment got picked up so much, because I don't think it's that much of a controversial comment. But Whoopi obviously it just heard it somehow.
Well,
and because of the feud between these two ladies that you'd never think would ever have beef.
Well, because it's like it's I feel like the norm to be like, oh, that guy's a player. That's gross. He slept with all these women. And she's basically saying, I would rather that than a guy that has had no experience. That's a little weird to me, which I agree with.
Yes, unless there's a good reason. There's better be a good reason that you're sexual.
I said you married your high school sweetheart. What would another good reason be?
I don't know. You were like you're really religious, or you lived out in a remote.
Or you were kidnapped at the age of 16 and then were released?
Yeah, I mean, that would be...
Cops found you when you were 40?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a hard person to be with.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's true. That'd be a lot of other issues.
I think Rachel has a good point, and I hope Whoopi doesn't come at us for saying that, because I think it's a reasonable point.
Shout out to Rachel, though.
Shout out to Rachel. She's still got it. I love the OC.
She's still got it. I know. I'm looking at this clip right now. She's still got it. I never watched the OC, actually.
You never?
I was a Laguna Beach guy. I know it's different. Like, Laguna Beach reality TV, OC, it's like...
Scripted. You just blew my mind.
I've never even seen an episode of the OC. And I'm not from Orange County. I'm from LA, but
you're from Hermosa Beach.
Yeah, I lived the OC, bro.
I lived the OC, bro. What an OC thing to say.
I didn't need to watch it.
That sounds like it would be a quote on the OC.
I did live the OC.
This is the OC, bitch. What was that line? Something like that? Okay, Deven. Well, I know what you should do this weekend. Enjoy the OC.
Is it on streaming?
Yes.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll find it this weekend.
We can do a whole podcast, sort of giving our takes on each episode.
We got to pitch it to Harvey.
Pitch it to Harvey, yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Always fun. Later.